to get to where you're going? Or you just setting up for?
Yeah, I got to get rid of my ugly face here. Just a sec. I always forget to where I find the share screen button. Right there, bigger than life. All righty.
Did you see where I went into J Rolling Hills and I did the rough ocean?
Oh, I haven't done that. I haven't looked yet. I want to see that right now. Let's eyeball the Scrolling Hills one. I want to see.
I tried to add the sound to it of the ocean with
right
lightning, but they said it was free downloads of MP3s, but it didn't end up being there.
Right. Okay, that's cool.
But the lightning. I added some blank frames.
Right.
But I didn't do them, I guess, far enough apart.
Right. What you might have wanted to do is to make the lightning actually be little movie clips that flicker, Yeah,
that's exactly what I was.
Yeah. Okay, so we have an assignment called Simple Buttons that we need to do before we do anything like the multi-page assignment. So if we go look in assignments here, there should be one called M Simple Button. It's out of order. I need to push it down to the bottom, but that's the one that we're going to do.
Okay. Take the PDF. And then we're going into animation. Right?
Yep.
And it's going to be a script, HTML, what?
I always default to making them scripts, so let's do that.
Uh-oh, my Adobe sign-in required to see. Sign in with the Adobe. I didn't use this product. We will sign you in Adobe ID. What the hell is that?
That is not what we want to see. We don't want you to have to sign in. You may have to.
Thank you. Continue. Wow, that's the first time I ever did me like that.
Huh. Okay, but it let you in.
Yeah.
All righty. Pretty weird. I don't know why.
Okay, I'm in Action Script and Adobe Acrobat.
So yeah, so File, New, Action Script, Save As, M Simple Button.
I'm saving the script. Flashes.
So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and watch for a second as I play with the concept of buttons real fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it. Don't follow this time. Insert new symbol, but it's not going to be a graphic. It's not going to be a movie click. It's going to be a button. And I'm just going to call it my button. All right. So now I should be editing a button. The timeline looks a little bit different. All it's got is an up, over, down, and hit state. Up is what the button looks like when it's not being clicked. I'm gonna make my up just a little hexagon. Down is, yeah, that looks real great, huh? I didn't draw it in. I'll switch modes here. Object drawing. Down is what it looks like when it has been clicked. So I'm going to make a keyframe there to erase what's already there, and I should have made a blank keyframe because I want it to be gone. Blank keyframe. Okay, this is what I want my button to be like when somebody's finger's on it. Over, this element is what it looks like when the finger's hovering over it, but it hasn't clicked it yet. So maybe, I'll do a square, right? Now this is really dumb, but what we have is our button looks like a pentagon. If they move their mouse over it, it's going to turn into a square, and when they finally click on it, it's going to turn a circle, and then when they let up on it, it's going to go back to being one of those. So I'm going to go to scene 1, and I need to drag my button out of my library so I can watch it. Heck, I could drag several of them if I wanted to. So when I test it, this is another one of those things where if you click the play button, no joy. So I'm going to test it. And there you go. You see they're turning into rectangles. They're turning into boxes. And if I actually click them, they turn into circles. Now, do they do anything? No, because we haven't put any scripts. Buttons trigger scripts. They trigger actions. What I'm calling scripts are the things that we put into the actions. Like the script could be a go to and play command. So it'll jump to a different place in your animation and start going. So that's the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our own buttons. There's another way to get buttons because Flash comes with some pre-made buttons as well. I've almost forgotten where they are, but when we go to the next instructions, we'll find them. Components, user interface, button, okay. It's got a button, it's got a checkbox, it's got all sorts of things that you would have to do a lot of scripting to get to work. Buttons are the easiest to script. And right, so we got some nice things that Flash gave us, but these would take a little bit more scripting than we're going to do today. But the label, that button we could get to work just as easily as our own. All right, I'm going to revert. I'm going to undo all that stuff that I did, and we're going to follow the instructions now.
Okay, and you said name this M?
Yep,
simple?
M simple button. So you're going to want to create a new symbol. Go ahead and make sure that the ball in the box mode is switched.
Okay, first of all, question. Do you want us in classic or as in essentials?
I don't care which mode you put it in. Which one do I use? Where do you change that?
Up at the top.
Oh, down here. I'm in classic right now. I think the book always has you go to essentials. When I learned Flash, this was what it looked like. That's why it's called classic. So I just stick with that.
Okay.
Either works just fine.
I'm in classic right now.
All right, that's cool. Okay, so we want to do insert new symbol and make it a button. Don't leave it as a graphic or a movie clip. And we need to give it a snazzy name. Okay, great. This is not very snazzy. Button 1. All right.
Okay, so you said insert a new symbol and name it.
I'm going to call it button 1 and change the type of it to button. What are these advanced settings? Maybe not. I'm going to close that real fast. Okay. And I'm going to click OK, and now I'm in the button editor. How do I know I'm in the button editor? Look at the timeline. It's only got those 4 things. Oh, I didn't show you what hit did.
Well,
I'll show you hit.
Where'd you go to get this?
Well, if you're seeing that right now, if you're seeing the output window, just click on timeline.
I'm seeing layer.
Right, there's layer 1,
Timeline.
and then right there.
Timeline,
Do you see those 4?
No, I'm
In your library, do you see button 1?
no, I went to and hit insert new symbol, and I made my new symbol.
Right.
And then.
And did you make it a button?
My stage turned white.
Right.
What do you mean? Did I make it a button?
Insert new symbol. Do you see this little pull down?
Oh, no, I didn't do that.
Yep. Got to make it a button. Okay, so call it something else. Call it button in all caps or something, just to differentiate.
Don't go back and undo that.
Yeah, undo everything and then start over. Okay. All right. So insert new symbol, pull the little pull down menu to make it say button, and then type in button 1.
Modify, create. Okay, it's not on that. I can do it. Okay, modify.
Insert.
Insert.
Yep. Yep.
Button one. And make it a button.
Yep.
Click OK.
Yep.
Okay, now.
Now you see your up, over, down, and hits?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So select the up one. It's probably already selected. Grab your rectangle. Make sure ball in a box is selected. You want to be in object drawing mode. And then see that near the bang there?
Oh.
You just want to make sure you're in object mode.
Okay.
And then draw something, you know, over the crosshairs. Pick whatever color you like.
It's already on blue.
Oops, mine's not red. All right. What's next? Go to the over frame. Select the over frame, click right, and insert a keyframe. Okay, so I'm going to go to over, right click, insert keyframe. If I did blank keyframe, it'd remove my button, but I just want to use the same button and I'm going to color it different. That's all I'm going to do. So insert keyframe, then select your button and change its color. So like from red to purple or something.
I did something even weirder than that.
Or make it a gradient. I mean, it doesn't matter. All righty.
Lime green.
That'll work. Do the same thing. Go to down. Right click on the down frame and do insert keyframe. And change its color again.
Okay.
All righty, we're going to have to drag it out to the stage to actually test it. So I'm going to click on scene 1 to get back to the stage and drag it out of the library. Maybe I'll just drag a couple of them for funsies.
I'm not. Okay. Drag it out to the stage. Drag it to another one. Okay, I have 3 out there.
Yep. So let's test it. Control enter, command return, whatever it is. So this is the.
Oh, you have
I just put 3 of them out.
no, I'm just saying you have a line around it.
Yeah, I forgot to take the stroke away. I could go back and remove the stroke on them, but it's too late now. I'm not going to bother.
Okay, so the only reason I said that is because you got yours connected to one another.
Yeah, it actually looks kind of okay with the line there, but that wasn't my goal. It's cool. Don't worry about it. If you wanted to have a stroke on it, you could redo them. Okay, because I didn't draw the lines. They're just in the button itself, right? They're the outline of the button itself.
Okay. So now we just
run it,
return.
And then see, this is the up state. Red is up. Move your cursor over it. Yours will turn lime green. Mine turns purple. And then when you click it, it goes to the down state. And I'll be right back there. I forgot to.
Wait a minute. Don't we have to hit command return?
Yeah. Just run it like any other one.
Okay. All of mine turn the same color.
Yeah, they will.
Aren't they supposed to turn 3 different colors?
Well, once you click it. Are they changing colors as you click them?
Yeah, the lime green is turning purple, but I started with the blue.
Okay, let me come look. Okay, so I have these 3 guys, and now we're going to go a little bit off the rails, but let's make a new layer called actions.
Did you want us to name layer 1?
And layer 1 can just, oh yeah, rename layer 1 to buttons. But we need to give each button its own name. How do we do that? You click on a button and you go to properties and it says instance name. So call it B1. You know what, this is going to be more complicated than I thought. That's okay. That's okay. We'll deal with it. And then click on the next one and call it B2. And click on the next one and call it B3. So we're going to get into something that involves a lot of typing in just a little bit. So what we got to do is let's put a stop action and then, yeah, I should have just followed the instructions here, but okay. I mean, I should have opened up the new instructions, but we've got 3 buttons with 3 different names. Let's give this first frame, frame 1, its own name. So click on that frame and then go over to name and call it, I don't know, 1, right? Or we could give it a better name than that. We could call it F1.
Okay, 1 is F1.
Right. And then 25, let's insert a keyframe there and call it F2. So click on frame 25, insert a keyframe, and then name it F2. I'll be right there.
Should we have been naming stuff over there
No,
on past?
no,
So
no.
this is the first
We've never needed it because we weren't scripting. But we have to script the buttons. Okay, let me do one more and then I'll be back there. Okay, so then frame 50, right click and do insert keyframe and give it a name of F3.
Okay, and they got little red arrows.
Right, right, they've got names now. Okay, so I need to pause it. Okay, so a little cleanup I need to do is I'm gonna call layer 2 actions. The suggestion was to call it frames, that would work as well. Now, another thing I need to do is, if you notice my playback head, the buttons disappear immediately. And that's because my buttons timeline only has 1 frame, while the actions goes all the way up to 50. So go out to 50 on the buttons layer and just insert a frame. Doesn't even have to be a keyframe. Just insert a frame.
Just the frame.
And that way, those buttons will exist the whole way. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so what?
No, it's not doing it. Did you mean to grab the frame 1 and pull it off?
No. See, your buttons are drawn on frame 1 of the buttons layer.
Right.
So go out to frame 50 of the buttons layer and insert a frame.
I did. It didn't work. Let me take that away. Remove frame. Yeah.
Yes, go out to 50.
Okay, now we go. And then
No, don't be dragging stuff.
oh, don't drag it.
No, just go out to frame 50 of your buttons layer.
Okay.
Buttons layer. You're on the actions layer.
Oh, no wonder.
Yep.
Okay.
No, don't drag anything. Just go out to 50. Right click on that. Yep. There we go. Now we got it.
Oh, it was me.
Yeah, and me, my inaccurate instructions. I didn't boast them loudly enough. Okay, so what am I going to do next? Let's draw something. We're going to need some actual stuff to look at. Right now, right? All we got right now are buttons. That's boring. We need something else on the screen. So I'm going to make one more new layer. And I'm on frame 1. I guess I ought to give it a name, right? Instead of just layer 3, how about content? Or maybe I'm going to call it
the star.
layer 1 or the star layer. Yeah, so I've changed it to layer 1 because it's going to be the one that corresponds to F1. So on layer 1, draw something underneath F1. We're not going to have to insert a keyframe because as soon as you make a new layer. All right,
On layer 1.
on the first frame of it, just draw something.
Okay. Draw something like
Anything.
okay.
I'm just typing a text layer 1.
Okay, let me get
Then make a frame, excuse me, a layer called layer 2. Nah, let's leave it on layer 1. So I'm going to rename layer 1 back to just content because whatever. Okay, go out to underneath F2 in our content layer. Right click and insert a blank keyframe because you want whatever you drew previously to disappear.
Hey, wait a minute now.
So you see what I did?
No.
I'm on the same layer except I renamed it back to content. Go out to that layer underneath the F2 frame. So on frame 25 of your new layer, right click and insert blank keyframe. Your buttons will stay, but whatever you drew will disappear.
Insert keyframe.
Yeah, and then draw something else.
It didn't disappear.
Yeah.
Oh, you said blank.
Yep, yeah, so undo that and make it a blank.
And we're on, okay, I got them. Content. Okay, and we're gonna go to 25.
Yep,
Insert
blank.
blank. Insert blank.
And then guess what we're gonna do? After that, go out to 50 and repeat.
Blank keyframe.
Yep. After you've drawn something on 25.
Oh, I gotta.
Yep, because
draw
everything
something
disappeared.
again.
So yeah, draw something else.
Different.
Yeah, something where you can tell the difference. Exactly. Right. Right. 3 different buttons to go to 3 different parts of the animation. So now that I've drawn something on F1 and F2, I'm going to go to F3, insert a blank keyframe, and do one more thing. 3, baby.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay. I'm trying to keep up with you.
Yeah, so do the same thing out on 50 now.
Okay, now.
Blank keyframe.
Content, go out to 50. And insert
Blank.
blank.
Yep.
And disappear.
Good deal. So draw something else now.
Okay.
I don't like it saying layer 1 anymore, so I'm just going to make it say the number 1. All right. Okay. Now, if I played it at this point, I mean, we're not close to being done. Maybe we're halfway there. If I play it, it's going to show the first frame, and then after a second, it's going to show the second one, and then it's going to go to the third one, and it's going to loop. So it's not too cool yet, right?
Okay. I just finished my third drawing.
Good deal.
So go.
Yeah, just try it out. Just try it out. Get a feel for what it's doing.
But I'm saying that I don't need to insert a keyframe anywhere.
You already have. You've done it at 50, right? You got one at 1, you got one at 25, and one at 50.
Yeah, but the one at 50 was for the second one.
Nope. Frame 1's got something.
I mean, I did the same thing.
So
Okay.
frame 1's got something, frame 2's got something, and then lastly, F3 has got something.
True.
So if you play it, it's not going to look real good. all you're going to see is your frame one. And when I say play, I mean hit control, enter, command,
Yeah.
return, whatever. It's going to show frame one. It's going to hang out for a second. It's going to show frame two. It's going to hang out for a second. Then very briefly, it's going to flash
Yeah, flick it.
50 and then it repeats. But we don't want it to repeat. We want it to stop. So we got to go to our actions on frame 50. Is it doing it for you, or you need me to come look?
Yeah, I need to, I need
So what I got to do now is I'm going to go out to frame 24. What I did is I zoomed this in to make it real easy to click on the frames. I clicked on 24. I right-clicked. I chose Insert Keyframe. That should give me a dot there. Then I'm going to right-click on that frame and choose Actions. And that's going to pull up my Actions editor for frame 24. Make sure it says 24 there.
It does.
And then type in stop, parentheses, end parentheses, semicolon.
C's, yeah, C's.
Semicolon.
I got
The one next to the L.
Okay,
All right, now let's just close that. And when you play it, remember how it was going 1, 2, 3, or whatever your words were? Instead, it's just going to stop.
well, see, suppose, there's no X.
Oh, there's some way to close it. Let me look. The X is way over here.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. All right. So now when I play it, it's just going to do frame one, because what did it do? When I played it, it ran from 1 out to 24, but it hit the stop command at 24. And it's sitting there waiting to get to 25, but it doesn't have a way to get to 25. And here's where we either have a heck of a bunch of typing to do, or I just paste the code.
Mine is going on.
to.
Mine is playing all three.
All righty. And then I'm not sure what we need to do now. And by the way, this little playback button is just completely useless, right? It goes from beginning to end. It ignores all stop commands and everything. Yeah.
And then you gotta stretch the loop,
Yeah.
go out all the way to the end.
Yeah. Okay. So I had a stop on 24.
24.
I need another stop on 49.
On actions.
Right. So on the actions layer on 49, insert another keyframe.
Insert keyframe.
Yep. And then do the same thing. Right click and choose actions.
Insert action. I mean,
Right. And then again, stop, all
Stop.
lowercase letters. It looks like an uppercase S, doesn't it? When I typed it, but it is lowercase.
No, I was just using it.
Right, but it actually does look tall. Maybe not, but okay. STOP, parentheses, in parentheses. You don't have to put the space there, and then a semicolon.
Okay.
And we already have a stop command. No, we don't. We never put a stop command on 50. I don't think we did.
No,
Okay, so I'm going to go out to 50 and click actions.
you're gonna click it on 51 or
No, just on 50. For some reason, I
That's
do.
what 49's for, isn't it?
Right. But we also have to stop at 50. Or tell you what, we don't have any room for the animation to play at 50. It would just be kind of a stop thing without any room to play. So maybe we ought to add some more frames at the end, like, you know, since we did one at 25, 50. So let's go out to 75. Right click out on the actions layer, do insert keyframe. Right click and actions and type in stop. But that made our other stuff disappear. So we're gonna have to insert normal frames on these other two ones,
Okay,
right?
wait a minute. You just went to
I went to 75, I right click,
right click, and we're gonna insert keyframes.
yep. Insert keyframe and then edit the action.
And then edit the action. Oh, right click on it again.
Yep,
And then go down to action,
you got it.
stop.
Now, the reason our content and our buttons are gone is because, right, our timelines don't extend all the way out. So just like the other time, right click on frame 75 of the other layer,
On content.
right, on content and do insert frame. And also do the same thing on the buttons layer.
Insert frame.
Just insert a frame.
And then select buttons. Go 75, right click, insert frame.
Just a frame. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, we are 3/4 of the way there, guys, or like 4/5 of the way there. But we have to add scripts for the buttons. And this is a bunch of painful typing. Let me show you the scripts. I mean, it's not that much, but you know, when you're typing, let me just show you. Yeah, what? I'm in the wrong one. Multi-page animation. I don't know why I have 2 doc files. I'll have to examine that. Anyways. Yep, that's a lot of typing.
Especially for me, 'cause I'm a
Yeah, that's a lot of typing.
Me too.
Can you lower your move, copy anything?
Yeah. What's in that other doc file? Why do we have, okay, anyways. I'll put it so that we can copy and paste it. But I'm gonna have to make a couple of changes to it. For one thing, here, let me show you what it's doing before you start working on it. Come on, Word, zoom in. All right, where it says B1.add event listener and B2.add event listener, remember when we named our buttons? What we're saying is, yo, button 1, I want you to wait until the mouse goes down on you. And if that happens, then I want you to jump down, and this is actual programming, and if you're not going to take a programming course, then it's okay to not totally get this. But if you get clicked, run this little program, this little function, and what does it do? We've seen go to and play already, and it's going to play F1. So that's where button 1 takes us, is to F1. Button 2 is going to make us play F2, right? Because it calls the B2 handler, which plays F2. And then button 3 jumps down here and is going to play the F3. And we don't have a button 4, so I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to upload this somewhere for us to find.
And why do you have void there on the side?
As programmerese, I'll tell you what it means in just a second. Let me get this saved first before I forget what I'm doing. No, you're cool. All righty, save as, text file. I just know my brain, I can only hold one thing in it at a time. Okay. Okay, now I can upload it. And the people watching the video are wondering why they're having to see all this. Well, they got to hear the explanation. Okay.
You got your zoom up and load it again?
Yep. All righty then. Go to assignments. Go to, we haven't even made a folder for the, yeah, simple button. We're kind of just tacking this stuff onto simple button. And add a file. My computer, upload. All right, you're gonna have to refresh your page in order to see it.
Okay. Action script for 3 buttons, text.
Yep. So open that up
Save to desktop.
and then edit it.
Open.
So grab the action script for 3 buttons.
And then copy this, right?
Yeah, you're gonna copy it, but I'm not sure that yep, we should, yeah, we have a keyframe in frame 1 of actions already, so we're good to go. Just grab this stuff and it should say action script for 3 buttons.
That
Dadgummit.
looks like HTML.
Yeah, it's a programming language. Okay, so that's how people write Flash games. All right, so I'm gonna go back into Flash, excuse me, Animator. I'm gonna pick frame 1 of my actions layer. We've already got a keyframe there, so we don't need to insert a keyframe like we've been doing every other time, but we do need to edit the actions.
Okay, where did you paste it?
What I did is I right-clicked on frame 1 of the actions layer. I chose actions. It brings up my editor, and I'm gonna paste it there.
Frame 1.
Right-click, choose actions,
Actions.
and then paste it in there.
Paste all of it.
Yep.
Okay, it's there. And then it's in blue, black, purple, green.
Yeah, it's in all sorts of colors. Now, you asked about these voids.
Yes.
In programming, a function can return a value. It could return a word, in which case it would be string. It can return a number, in which case there'd be another keyword like integer or something like that. I'm not sure. And void means this function doesn't return anything. It just performs an action. It's going to go to and play F1, which should be that. And then if you press the second button, it should go to and play F2. And if you press the third button, it should go to and play F3. And I hope it does. Let's find out. No, of course not.
That's behind your, you got to close your box.
No, I'm getting errors. Undefined property B1. I thought I named my buttons. Did I name them lowercases or something? Yeah. Okay, great. The script is assuming uppercase letters, so I need to make my lowercase b1 uppercase b1. So I clicked on the button. I went to instance name for it, and I made that first button have its name in caps. And then I go to the second one and I make his name in caps. And if you've already put his name in caps, great. And then the third button needs to be capital B3.
Oh, we got to go to the library to see that.
Got to be in properties. So click button 1, go to properties, it'll say B1. Click button 2, go to properties, it'll say, should say B2. And then go to button 3, click properties, and see B3. Now you see what I'm doing is I'm actually clicking on the button. Grab the black cursor, click on the button itself,
Yeah.
go to properties.
Oh, I know what I'm doing. I didn't grab the black cursor,
Yeah.
but it's still not talking.
Only thing with mine. First names.
Huh.
My name is showing. First name is showing.
The names.
Initially.
That's right. That's the way that it's working.
I mean,
Well-
I'm saying if I push the button, it's not right. The second button, my first name is the middle name.
Yeah.
I won't talk about it. It works good.
You got your, you got you have a insert keyframe there on your first frame on your buttons.
I don't have a
What is it?
all I got is the dot just means that I have a frame, a keyframe there. And you always have to have a frame when any content appears. And these buttons are the content that appears here.
Mine didn't have.
Well, somewhere the buttons are. It just depends on which layer the buttons are on.
Yeah, the buttons are on my
If they're on your actions layer, then that's why.
That's one button right there.
So yeah, if you click button 1, what layer does it take you to?
It took me to, my button 1 took me to the highlighted buttons, but
But what layer does it
V1
pop to?
popped up on the content.
Right, so that button is just on contents, and that's not a big deal. It's not a huge deal. Ideally, you would cut those buttons and you would paste them into frame 1 of your buttons layer. So just highlight all 3 of those, cut them, go to frame 1 of your buttons layer and paste them.
Okay. Highlight all 3. Choose buttons. I'll play with it at home.
Yeah, so go ahead and save the FLA and upload the SWF as well into the Dropbox. And this is essentially what we have done is followed the instructions for an assignment that wasn't actually uploaded yet, which is,
Oh man.
where is he? Multi-pages, multiple page animation. That's the one that we just kind of did, but we did it on our own rather than following written instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and move that one, make it visible, but I'm not going to make it mandatory probably. If it is mandatory, we're going to do it again next week. And it's going to go really fast for y'all because you're going to already know how to do it. Or maybe I'll just say that, hey guys, you missed the day. You need to watch the video. Why else record?
Well, I'm gonna watch the video again.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Otherwise, why record the video, huh? So,
because this was so complicated.
yeah.
I'm gonna be adding it twice.
That's cool. That's cool.
And I'm
Cool. Oh. Oh, man. Yeah. No, that is not fun.
And see it now. I got him simple button, but I don't see the SW.
Oh, just hit command return and it'll remake it.